Hello world, it is Thursday, December 22nd, 2011. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. And, yeah, this is my first video in almost a few weeks. What happened was that, as you see, with the change of scenery, I'm back home now after finals and all the madness that was of. Did pretty good this semester, all A's and B's, so I'm pretty stoked for that. And, yeah, the reason why I didn't make a video until so late was because after I got home, I was very busy trying to put my room back together for a little bit, even though I'm only going to be here for a month. So I do a lot of rearranging, a lot of chilling out, a lot of just unwinding. So now I feel in the mood to make a video. So here I am. So today, I know in my last video I said I was going to do a review of the Angels and Demons book, and after I made the video and after I put it on YouTube and everything, I went and looked through my video manager and I realized, oh shit, I already put that on there. I already did my review of Angels and Demons, the book. I was like, oh, fun. Whatever. So now today, surprise, today I'm going to be doing my review of the video game Vanquish. It was released back in October of 2010. And Vanquish is a third-person shooter that puts you in the shoes of Sam Gideon, a scientist of sorts. It's set in the near future where the United States is harnessing a solar power via satellite colony in outer space. However, a Russian extremist group hijacks the satellite, using it as a weapon, and wipes out San Francisco. So Sam Gideon, he's a researcher from DARPA, which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. It's actually a real organization, I looked it up. And he's equipped with an augmented reaction suit, which is called an ARS, a really cool freaking suit. Just leave it like that. And so you must accompany an elite unit of Marines in a race against time to deactivate the satellite in 8 hours before it targets New York City. However, as the plot keeps moving forward, there's a hidden conspiracy, that sort of thing. So here's what's really good about Vanquish. For one thing, the graphics. One thing to mention is that the graphics look great. Especially just sitting there and watching the ARS suit, because there's a bunch of different intricacies and different moving parts, and watching that suit kind of meld, change, evolve, and move is such a really awesome experience. It's an absolute joy to watch, and because the tiniest part in that suit moves, and they show that really well with the graphics in the game. It's absolutely fantastic. Another thing that's really good is the controls. The control scheme for the game is extremely simple to use, and very comfortable to get adjusted to. But the funny thing is that when you do the tutorial for the game, it actually makes the game seem a lot harder. So like it makes it the controls actually make it makes the control seem a lot harder. What it seems like when you do the tutorial. However, once you actually get into the actual gameplay, then you start getting a natural feel for the controls, and it's just smooth sailing from there. Another thing that's really, really good about this game is that the game is action-packed. This game is action galore. There are just some really insane set pieces and action sequences that would be impossible in real life. But the game just does a great job in that suspension of disbelief throughout the entire playthrough. You really don't notice after you're done playing the game. One of the things that's really so awesome about this game is that there are machine gun bullets and explosions going off everywhere, just in every direction you're getting shot at, and it's so intense and so absolutely insane. Get the hair out of there. Another thing that's really great about this game is actually fairly challenging, even on the easier difficulties. I find that modern games, in my opinion, and I love modern games, don't get me wrong, I feel that a lot of modern games are really sort of dumbed down, for lack of a better phrase. They really dumb down the difficulty and really dumb down the experience, and to make the game campaigns easier to deal with. Vanquish doesn't really put up with that kind of shit. Even on the easy difficulty, it's still an extremely, very challenging game, very intense game. And there are times where if you aren't careful, you'll be obliterated, no questions asked. The moment you're out of cover, you will be destroyed in an instant. It's a really game where you really have to be on top of everything, because if not, you'll get, like I said, you get instantly annihilated, no questions asked. Another really cool thing about this game is that it's simply just fun. It's just pure fun. Yeah, it really isn't that intelligent of a game. The storyline isn't really that complex or that morally deep sort of thing, which I usually really enjoy when it comes to movies or other forms of media and entertainment. But it's just simply fun. It's just a blast to play. Again, I feel like this harkens back to the olden days of gaming, where games were just simply fun to play. I'm not saying that games today don't have any fun factor. They do, but it's not really as much as they used to, and because games have become more sophisticated recently and games have been trying to take themselves more seriously as the years have progressed. And Vanquish really kind of brings back that old school fun factor back, where you play a game and you realize, oh wow, this is just actually fun to play, which is really cool. Another thing that's really cool about this is more specifically about the game. This is the ARS suit. I talked about the action reaction suit, whatever. The ARS suit's biggest feature is the ability to like slide across levels. While the tutorial, again, I really hate the tutorial in this game. It really doesn't do the feature any justice and portrays it as essentially very useless. However, when you get into the game, when I played it, I was using it all the time, because there's a really strategic element into using that sliding feature across levels. You know, I'll use it to avoid enemy fire, get into cover, get behind the large enemies so you can get at their weak spots. And it's just, you use that thing so strategically, you use that thing so often, and it's not really a wasted feature at all. So, there's a few things I really didn't like about Vanquish. The tutorial was one of them. I didn't have this written down in the script originally, but now that I really think about it, the tutorial was really frustrating, because it was really, really pointless. I mean, you get an achievement for it, that's about it though. So, another thing that's really not that great about Vanquish is the voice acting. The voice acting in Vanquish, while it's not subpar, it's not really the greatest. You know, when I first saw the trailers for Vanquish, one of the things that instantly turned me off from the game at first was the terrible voice acting. I mean, again, this is a game from the same people, from Shinji Mikami, who did a lot of the Resident Evil games. As you know, Resident Evil games aren't really they don't really have high caliber voice acting. So, another thing I really don't like about the game is the ending. The game really builds up, and it constantly just builds from the ground up each level of difficulty, and you think that it's going to be, and it's supposed to be an amazing ending, and it sadly isn't. I mean, granted, I think they were deliberately setting up for a sequel to come out in the near future, to which I wouldn't object, but it didn't offer any form of closure or tied up any of the loose ends of story left behind. Plus, the last level really sucked. Pure balls. Also, so that's one of my down things. But overall, Vanquish was a game. This is the bottom line. The bottom line is that Vanquish was a game. At first, that took me by some complete surprise. When the initial trailers and when things started coming out for Vanquish, I initially wasn't really expecting much. I thought it was like, oh god, this game is going to be awful. Like, absolutely awful. From the voice acting and to, like, it just looks like a, another third-person shooter rip-off sort of thing. It looks just absolutely terrible. And what I got out of it, though, was it was surprisingly fun and an old-school experience from new-school innovations. And it's made surprising one of the good games I've played, surprisingly. And it's really one of the funnest games I've played, at least in a while. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Vanquish is definitely a solid title. Definitely recommend it. Especially if you're huge into the Resident Evil games. Again, this is created by Shinji. This is a game that's directed by Shinji Mikami. So if you're really into his games, you're really into the Resident Evil gameplay and stuff like that, this is you can definitely feel that effect here in this game, and you really enjoy it. But you don't have to enjoy Resident Evil to enjoy this game, or enjoy that sort of style of gameplay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today, and I'm going to do a list of 5 soon. I don't know when that's going to be or what it's going to be. Again, the Christmas time is coming around soon, so I don't really know when I'll have the opportunity to do a list. It'll probably be a year-round list. Yes, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. I'm going to do a top 5 list or something like that of the year. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. And I will definitely see you guys, I'll definitely see you guys soon. If not, have a happy holidays and Happy New Year, and I will see you guys soon. All right, peace.